Yes, space. Today's bond there. Some make knowledge bond. Bond is to bring something into existence. It is a mental birth, also a physical birth. I've been born again black man, I became getting knowledge of self. We're going to discuss something right now. So I'm going to discuss something dealing with something we learned from Elijah Muhammad teachings. Determined idea. It never lessons our history that Nation of Islam never taught how to get a determined idea. It only go back to our Mr. Yaqub. Yaqub, have a determined idea. He saw what's in the black man's body, a brown germ and a black germ. And according to Elijah Muhammad, he made white people. So when I read that in Malcolm X's autobiography, the first thing he said, first the moon separated from the earth. I was like, then he said black people appeared. And said among the black people there was this 24 scientists or whatever, and especially black tribe of Shabazz. And one of the signs was that odd, whatever, I can't go, but it said Yaqub created white people and it have an effect on planet Earth. And that's where my brain kicks in. Having an effect on planet Earth, I determined that they have an effect on planet Earth. So the effect on planet Earth, white people, slave black people, colonized black people, strict black people, They were black people the worst in history. We built the greatest empire, civilization, and yet we went through the worst. Because according to Elijah Muhammad teaching, that is predictions. It's supposed to happen. And Yaqub showing forth his powers. He could make white people and then destroy white people in one day without falling victim to the devil's civilization yet. You know what I'm saying? So that's his teaching. And other teachings, but I'm not going to go into that. I'm just talking about a determined idea. Yaqub have a determined idea. So when I read it, I liked it. And I write out everything on paper. I was in Auburn Correctional Facility, 3 cell. Right, ask questions, because next to me was an American, name was Buster. He was from Long Island to Staten Island. And he lent me the book. In prison you read with some old timers, elders, learn. So it was always in my head. I was on Kepler because I left Cayuga. I got caught with a weapon. So they shipped me to the maximum prison. They shipped me to the maximum correctional facility, Auburn. So anyway, so transfer from Auburn back to Cayuga a couple months after my classification dropped back to a medium prison. So by Elijah Muhammad books, Fall of America, Our Savior Arrived. I never bought Message of the Black Man, but I read it. I read the Theology of Time too, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X. So, I was already up here before I got knowledge of self. Because a lot of people join 5%ers and they go straight because they didn't learn history themselves. And a lot of history that 5% study, like plus degrees, is not right and exact. So they couldn't just give me anything to read because I'm full of questions. You ain't going to come to jail and learn something. Jamaica say, no go to jail and turn fool. A lot of people go to jail and turn fool because they join something and it lead them different. But anyway, so I always talk in a dormitory. You have 5% of Muslims, Sunni Muslims, they argue about the lessons, some saying this and that. But me talking about the determined idea, they would just look at me. Say, But when I got knowledge of self now talk about it, it's a different thing. Somebody would say study your lessons. The lesson don't talk that. Talk about having a determined idea. No 5% will reason and say, yeah, that sound good. I don't recall none of that. And a few said they like how I flow. Young guys, I was young guy. They say like how you float. Went by the name Nassim Nature Allah. So a lot of young guys would say they like how I flow. Give me good encouragement, but still, my bill was different. So from Cayuga, then I went to other facility. I went up in what's the name? Collins. That's when the first set of 5%ers made them reason about the determined idea. And some said they understand it, but they couldn't go nowhere. They couldn't take it like, it's a possibility. Because they're looking like what Elijah said. They always go back and say, that's not in the lesson. And no one ever hear nothing like that. A black person in the West America having a determined idea, or even a member from the Gaza. They're not thinking like that because they can respect the Elijah teachings. The 24 scientists in the East, West Asia, Asia Minor, way over there. That's what the lesson's written. These people go out there and they make history. So how could this man who got another from the history that was sent over here, thinking you could bring a determined idea and put a global change on planet Earth? Nah. Some of them, nah, Yakub had a determined idea. They go back to the black and white issue. So from Collins now, back to Mr. I went to Mr. twice, but back to Mr. like 97. Yeah, I went there 90. I went there 95, transfer back, and I got transferred back there. So me and 15% was building, Allah you just. And he said, what I said, he never heard it either. He was a billionaire, he been in this from the 70s, he said. So he said he gonna bring it to the yard for a rally. So he let the guys know, yo, there's a rally, and want to bring something to the yard. And I seen him want to bring something to the rally. So when I went to the rally now, in the yard, Mistake Yard, just opened the cipher, name Brother. So I came, divine name, whatever. So with my time hit the floor, I talk about, okay, me and just had a bit of a determined idea. Like, a person, one of us, me, anybody, why it got to be determined from what Elijah said. And we studied that the black man got 7.5 hours of brain powers over white people. Why so one of them see Allah. He said never heard nothing like that. He was saying I'm fabricating stuff and I might affect the young gods. Because a lot of people come with plus degrees and sometimes they get chased from morality. I didn't get chased because other guys say they understand, but that's not lesson don't speak about it. So how you gonna say something like that? You know what I'm saying? So we were built still. So I asked him if because I was a Jamaican. He said no. All he been in this for years, he never heard nothing like that. A law school don't talk that. Those are some exact words. So they said, yo, you ain't going nowhere with that. You ain't going nowhere with that. That's just a hypothetical talking, whatever they call it, So I made knowledge born, because that's what I just said. This is a rally cipher, you're supposed to make knowledge born. So I'm looking at it different. I'm like, I think they look at it like, why the Jamaican talking that stuff? Yo, we never hear that determined idea from here. So they undermine themselves. They didn't see it's a possibility. They didn't do knowledge. So months after 99, it was President Clinton, he airstrike Saddam Hussein. Yeah. So I was in F block. When you come out of F block and miss it, you go right into the mess hall. Yeah, I was on E block, in a 4-man room. So we stayed in the dormitory in the room watching the day room, watching the airstrike, Clinton airstrike inside Saddam Hussein, days or whatever. So, from that time, whatever time, so, reading about this Palestinian thing, because, I like the Palestinian thing. Every time I seen a white person, an American Jew colonizer went into West Bank, killed up 47 Muslims, I found it interesting. I think that's when I first saw Jerusalem. Because the lesson talk about Jerusalem. Jerusalem is in Asia Minor. Jerusalem is a name given by the Jews, which means found in peace. And it was first built by Jibbe, Salem, and Ariel. We took the city from the Derbers about 700 and something years ago. So that was back in 1100 AD with Lord Saladin, the Muslim were unified our branch of Muslim to recapture it. So, but that lesson was written in 1933. So from 1933 it was 700 and something years ago. Yeah, so up to date, So, yeah, so that's when I saw Jerusalem. I always liked it. Even though I read Jewish Onslaught before I saw that killing. We read the book talk about white colonizer, Jewish, and they talk about South Africa. Yeah, but reading about Palestine, you just can't remember. You can only say, yes, white people, always trying to rule people of color, Asian people, rule black people, and now they're over there oppressing some people that they call Palestinian. Then I saw the TV when the white Jew killed people, the replay back. Yeah, so I was always thinking, damn, how do we make a name for Palestine, Islam? So, learning Elijah Muhammad, I took a lot of things from Elijah Muhammad. Elijah said, if you have a Muslim name, the Muslim will recognize you more than having a Christian name being popular. You're like, you know what I'm saying? So I like that. And before I came 5%, the first name I asked for was Ismail Shabazz. Was Ismail. They said I couldn't have that name because it's a Muslim name. So they gave me Nassim. I said, sorry, give me a name with N. Because they know me as Niger. So they said Nassim. That's all right. But the first name I asked for was Ismail. From I heard that name from a Muslim, I just liked it. Ismail. So I got my name that I wanted. Name is a name. Yeah. Took on a Muslim name, Ismail Al-Shabazz. You know. So anyway, sir. Yeah, so determined idea now. Yeah. So when that war was going on, that's one point, you know, I went back to my room, sitting in my bed out of anger. Something took place. I like, damn. Even though the war was in Iraq, I'm thinking about Palestine. Like, damn, why Muslims can't just come together against Israel? America, what's the big deal? They're saying they got all these chemical weapons. Well, not even chemical weapons, but they said these are Muslim that's, you know, aggressive. Yeah, so I went in my room, you know, sitting in my bed thinking with anger. In the name of Allah. Exactly what I said. I think my mind was all over the universe. And then a headache came right in my head. I never felt a headache like that before. My whole body shook up. And the term idea made up Muslim Alliance Treaty Organization right in my head. I was so nervous. I get up on bed. And then I went to another Muslim named Sharif. I tell him I want to take a shada. Because you know how I talk, you know. He said, Nassim, right between the former, there's a passage. He took me right there. I think there's a radiator there too. I think so. He said, take a shot. He said, in the name of Allah. Right when I'm about to go down, I said, no. He said, yo, Nassim, come on, take a shot. I said, nah. I said, I'm God. I ain't going to take a shot. People going to say all type of things. You know what I'm saying? So the other guys heard that Nassim want to take a shot. So they called a rally. They asked if I'm praying to a mystery. And I said, nah. I was just in a rush or something because I was nervous about something. So they asked, what was it? So I told her, it was true, one God, old God true. Last name was Hinckley. I think it was from Manhattan. So I told him about the determined idea. I didn't tell him what it was. I just said I had a determined idea. So I think it's best for me to go take a shot at that cause, you know. I want to support that cause over there, you know. So he said, what was the determined idea? I said, I can't tell you. He said, I would deal with secrecy, concealment. You know, we don't do with concealment. God, we drop knowledge, right? So if I tell you, you tell another 5%er, they tell the Spanish 5%ers, and Spanish 5% go tell the white people, and I get killed. He said, I have a point. Yeah, because that's all the jail. You take one person one next to body bed, you crazy? Tell them Hispanic something not in your mind. So he said, I had a point. He left it as that. So he said, okay, he brought up Elijah Muhammad's name. And he said, Nassim, do you believe in Elijah Muhammad's teaching? And I said, yeah. Do you believe in all of the teaching what we know? I think he said, Nassim, from what we studied, from what Elijah Muhammad came to us and gave us, history of the scientists, the gods back there, did any one of them fail? I said, no. Then he said, if I'm that one, with that determined idea, he said, I can't fail. He said, you can't fail. If you believe what Elijah said, those people come to determined idea, and you're saying you have a determined idea to affect and planet Earth, he said, you can't fail. So I thought about it, but I was still nervous. I couldn't tell nobody about it. I was scared. I scared if I tell somebody and say, you're going to get Israel, you might not even make it to the system. So I kept doing it for myself, never tell nobody what exactly it was. Until after 2006, in my writing, the first thing I wrote in my book. You know, I never tell nobody, just keep it quiet. I never know, I didn't go on more smoothly. So that's a determined idea. The lesson is good to study, but I was looking at myself, looking in the mirror, try to be the greatness of the people, then chatting about the people every minute. You're teaching so much that you don't see your greatness. That's a lot of 5%. A lot of black people in general from different branches of black organization and culture. The way they teach history so much, like they're not teaching them own self to be great. You know, so I guess I'm going to end this Ismail Al-Shabazz, making us born about the determined idea. And planet Earth. So I struck twice because of the black vote towards Hurricane Katrina aftermath. George Bush led a slow response, affect on planet Earth through telecommunication. But the Muslim Alliance Treaty Organization was the first determined idea. And I don't look at that as a determined idea. It's a statement. An idea is when you have an idea, it's something to bring into perspective. Organization, you got an idea. Well, it's got to be the same thing. Yeah, it got to be the same. So two determined ideas, but you know, so just imagine now, just analyze the determined idea. When the Muslim world come together, Muslim heads of states, politics. You know how much money this organization would hold up? Billions of dollars, trillions to help low countries that are underdeveloped. They could do without pushing Islam. It's politics. You got to play politics to beat politics. Because the Muslim world, they got the Islamic Organization of Corporation, but all of them have a different branch of Islamic teachings. But when you come under Muslim, you're all Muslim. Whether you're Sunni, Shiite, or whatever, still a Muslim. We in this time now. You gotta fight politics with politics. So, like I said, I've been made to organizations for Muslim. That'd be a good political organization to help stabilize the world. Muslim edited, starting it, and Jerusalem will never be conquered again. And it belongs to the Muslim. But you know, Israel captured it, so the Muslim get it back. You know? But Palestine states. So a lot of people don't like me because that's up for Arabs, but there, when you look at their profile and background, they got white people, Chinese, Indian, all type of skin color. But a lot of them on social media is pretenders. And those who are not on social media, they pretend just the same, but they write blackness history, they put up upload pictures. I don't do none of that, I'm not a pretender. I keep mine real. And so this I'm going to say peace. Militant Music Asia Minor.